Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
It's MicroPython time. No, it's time for...
Is that the new Pebble? Too soon? Too soon.
It's open source, though. We've got an exciting show tonight. This is, as always, Ask Engineer. I'm Lady Ada, the engineer. You can see my name down there. With me is Mr. Lady Ada on camera control. And, looking a little grumpy, but that's okay, because he's smiling on the inside. What?
This is my resting grump face.
I know. And we're here at the Adafruit factory. We've got puppets. We've got pick-and-place machines. We've got workshops. We've got...
This is not a green screen. This is the real deal.
No, there's actually, if I went over there and I touched it, it would fall over.
Ain't no avatar thing.
We're here at the factory. We're in downtown Manhattan, where we do all the engineering and technology and design and shipping and all the good stuff that you know and love. You probably use our libraries. You probably buy our kits, and that's what helps support us. We've got an exciting show tonight.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them what's on tonight's show?
Speaking of, support an open source hardware and software company. The code is bonnet, not botnet, bonnet. We'll be showing a cool product later. That's why tonight's code is bonnet. 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Show and tell. We'll be going over the projects here. This week we had a scanning, tunneling, electron microscope.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was bonkers. A cell phone, a homemade cell phone. It was amazing. So we'll talk about that. Packed Mailbag will stop by and read your letters to us. Time travel, look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers. Made in NYC, some footage from the factory here at Adafruit. Nimbus, the friendly cloud entity, will stop by and talk about, well, we'll be talking, but this is a symbol for that, of Internet of Things. 3D printing, cool video. New products. We'll answer your question. We got something fun and top secret. Have a trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it,
Bum, ba, bum.
Ask an Engineer.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Let's do this thing, because
We're
we
gonna
do this thing.
Yeah.
We're not Pebble. We didn't go to business today.
No.
What?
No.
What?
It's part of Fitbit. This is fast tech news. Things like
Yeah.
the news comes out really fast now.
Yeah.
We knew right before
I know.
the show, which is interesting. I was excuse me. I was talking about this in one of our chats. I think the idea of an e-ink display so you can always see the time was really powerful, but I think it's hard to get beyond that. And I think that most of the functionality for the timekeeping stuff will work, but then when they turn the servers off, it's be interesting. This is like that Internet of Things issue that a lot of people are talking about, is what happens when these connected devices, if the company changes, pivots, goes out of business, sells, what happens to that functionality? Will it be an open source Pebble server? After Chumby discontinued selling, I think there's a Chumby server that someone was running, so the Chumbies would still work.
Yeah, that still work. I mean, you could also, they open source enough that you could log
Yeah.
into your Chumby and make it do whatever you wanted.
Yeah, and a while ago I wrote an article on Make, if you're going to kill it, open source it. So I think any big technology project, especially ones that are crowdfunded, if it looks out it's not a business that's going to continue, or if there's other things that change, why not open source it? Because then people could build upon that.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, code is bonnet, 10% off in the Adafruit store. This is Ask an Engineer. We do this every week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Show and tell, 7:30 every week. We'll go over that in just a bit. Same day shipping. Don't forget, if you're in Manhattan and you check out before 11 a.m. and your zip code is one of the ones that we can ship to, which is a lot of them, you can get your order same day. Holiday shipping deadlines for all other orders. Keep an eye on that. We do have our free gifts and more. We have at 150, 200, we have all the different tiers. Just look on adafruit.com/free, and you'll be able to get something free with her, like a pin,
Yay,
or
free.
a feather, or a UPS ground. So here's the pins in action. All right, Lady Ada. Well, we had a show and tell.
We did.
Who was on it and what did they do?
Okay, we had a jam-packed show. We had Noah and Pedro, who showed off this week's 3D Hangouts project. We'll show the video for that. It's a weather TFT station. Really cool. It's a project that's very popular. It's a great-looking weather station. 3D print that uses our feathers. Tony D had a couple of holiday lights with ESP8266, like a web server demo using Control with Python. And check that out if you want to play with MicroPython, ESP8266, and make a festive holiday wreath. Sad Scott is sad about Pebble. So we were teasing him a little bit. But he loves the Pebble watch, even signed up for the Kickstarter, the Pebble 2. And that got canceled. He got a refund for it. And he was also talking about how he also, his startup, his technology hardware startup, Chickadee Tech, he also basically closed it down as of like this week. He'd been showing up on the show and tell and showing off the project. This is kind of a long-term show and tell.
We acqui-hired him, though.
We acqui-hired him, but he was
Yeah.
on the show and tell showing off his design for this drone, and we were so inspired every week that he would show up.
I'll say this. So he did open source, and because he did open source and because he shared his process and his work with us, we're like, wow, like, do you want a job? Like,
Yeah.
that's how it worked.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
like it worked out for him. And he learned a lot about technology. Now he's using the stuff he learned to build the MicroPython hardware and software with us.
Yep.
Okay, and then we had some like pretty amazing projects. Okay, so Bob showed off a radio phone. It's a DIY phone he made with a feather phona. It looks like a 1940s phone. It has like a Motorola logo engraved on the back with like a brass like bezel, and it's like wooden, and it's got like it's like a BioShock Infinite alternate universe cell phone, and it works because it's a feather phona.
Yeah.
And you can make phone calls, and it can tune the radio, and it's like a super cool project. So check out This Old Geek at blogspot.com, and we'll blog that up too. This is like a gorgeous project, which reminds me I gotta go fix the feather phona tester.
Yeah.
And then Aiden has showed a really cool
He found a 2mm
diameter.
extruder.
Yeah, it's very interesting. He went opposite, where everyone's
Yeah.
going for like skinnier, thinner, almost completely smooth prints, and he actually went and got this 2mm nozzle for these like really chunky prints.
Yeah, so
and they look cool.
Vases and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And then he made a musical
He
instrument.
actually, the slicer actually made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it can handle the fact that you're like, well, each layer is actually thick enough that you don't like put it down and then rise. It's actually like you can spiral it.
Yeah.
So it's a spiral print, and he says like it prints, like 10 times faster.
Yeah, like normally something would take 4 hours, it took 45 minutes.
Yeah,
So
very
that's
fast because it just does one layer. It doesn't have to go through and do the thickness of the
Yeah.
wall. The wall is the diameter of
Super
the nozzle.
cool.
And then Adam had a tunneling scanning electron microscope. I don't know the difference between a tunneling one and a non-tunneling, but he has a tunneling one. It's by Pete Barrera, who posted the project from a Hackaday contest, and he
Yeah.
built one, and he showed scans, and it like
He's
looks
like, here's
really-
some pictures of atoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And then
And he like etched the tungsten probe in his kitchen.
yeah, this one won the science fair this week.
He's either like the best roommate or the worst roommate. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like, Adam, could you get your scanning tunnel electron microscope out of the sink? Do I
yeah.
have to make
Are you
one?
done making the tungsten?
Are you done making the tungsten?
Yeah, it's super-
That is really cool. It is super cool. One of the most interesting projects, and he had to. He was suspended to reduce vibrations. He talked about the damping
Yeah.
issues and making this tungsten tip. And he has to make them because he crashes them into the material. So you have to you get right above it, and he has these tuning knobs.
Yeah.
Really cool. So check that out. And he also tells you where to get more information in
Yep.
the chat. And then Chalky is doing more stuff with JavaScript, ported some more of our LED backpacks to Node.js.
Had a
and
cool
also
Alexa demo.
Alexa demo that didn't work
Alexa, turn off the green light.
because Alexa It's that, well, actually, it's not his fault because Alexa actually doesn't like it when you change the names of things. So because he's like, why? It's like, why would you do that? Normally, you'd have like, you add a device, you don't like change the name of the device.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of restart it. I had that problem when I did the demo too. And then Peter has his Kickstarter, the 1Bitsy and Magic Probe demo, really cool GDB debugger for Cortex chipsets. Check that out if you are doing anything with ARM chipsets. You're going to want to have this stuff. A really lovely little board and a debugger that goes with it. And then C. Scott showed off the Chrominius Kickstarter release. He's waiting on these brass screws. So everyone had brass today. There was tungsten brass.
It's Brass Wednesday.
It's Brass Wednesday. So C. Scott has his from Chrominius. He showed how he took my design for the LCD shield and he just pasted it in. Because it actually, it's like, why? Honestly, I'm like, people who come to me and they're like, I want to use your product, your device in like a finished product. I'm like, you should just clone it. Like, that's no point. Just take it, paste it in, and then pitch. It doesn't make sense to use a kit for a product that already has a PCB. Just put it right on. So he did that, and it says it also helped him with alignment. Yeah. He only has to align one thing.
You got no one, Pedro? They showed the weather.
Yeah. I said.
Yeah, we're gonna have the video.
I'm gonna show the video.
Okay. All participants on the Show and Tell get, as seen on the Show and Tell sticker. If you were on the Show and Tell email, support@adafruit.com and claim your sticker. All right, this is all part of the Adafruit live series of videos. We've been doing a bunch of videos on Desk of Lady Ada. We had Trinket and Gemma, the CMD version, and we'll talk about that later tonight. And then we just had a bunch of videos that we've been doing.
All sorts of stuff.
All things that are in progress.
A lot of CMD stuff, Circuit Playground stuff. Crystal-less bootloader, Crystal-less variant files. Yeah. I mean, you can see it all on GitHub too. Yep. But just watching me do the bring up on the boards, I got a lot of hardware coming out. Yeah. So I've been cranking through all these designs and just iterating through them very, very fast. Okay, so tune in on that. That's Adafruit. YouTube.com/Adafruit and other places. John Park's workshop. He did this quick video of him putting stuff together in fritzing. I'm going to play it. Desk of Tony D, there is the 3-part series, the MicroPython Smart Holiday Lights, part 1, 2, and 3. If you want internet-connected smart holiday lights, this is a project for you. Yes. So check out parts 1, 2, and 3. Also gives you a good idea of the type of things that you can do with an ESP8266 and lights and controlling them over the internet. Yeah. So that's really cool. And one of the neat features, he was on the Show and Tell, that it'll remember the settings, so if you unplug it, plug it back in, it'll start where it was. Okay. All right, next up, Packet. Hello, I'm Packet, the mailbag. So every single week we have a meeting, all-company meeting called State of the Fruit. We read your emails and letters and all sorts of things to us. This week, when we're reading to you, is from Aaron. Hi, thank you for the passion that obviously goes into your company, website design, ordering process, learning video. The site has it all, and I highly recommend it. Adafruit on all the forums I participate with. I came here looking for a product first because your service is second to none. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks, Aaron. All right. Time travel. Look back in the world of hackers, artists, makers, engineers, pioneers. Celebrating a birthday this week. Happy birthday, Helen. Helen! That's right. So Helen is American businesswoman, engineer. Happy birthday this week. Best known for being the co-founder of iRobot, Roombas and the Packbots, and then more recently of Sci-Fi Works, which is a drone company. And I have a few photos. We're Helen super fans. Yeah, she's awesome. And she's come by Adafruit before. Here's her with her drone. And I think they're currently shipping their business-to-business ones. They did an interesting thing where there's a wire Really?
A very thin wire. That's their thing.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, it kind of solves like every problem.
Wires really solve a lot of problems, especially since it also can't go that far. Like it's tethered.
Yeah.
Is it strong enough to mechanically?
Yeah, I have to check the latest,
it?
but they had their Kickstarter one, and then they have like their industrial applications. And then here's Helen with the I think one of the PackBots.
Yeah.
She was at iRobot, and one of the things that is kind of neat is when iRobot went public, it rang the NASDAQ bell. First time a robot rang the bell.
I remember seeing a cool video about there were soldiers who were deployed in, I think, Afghanistan, and they like would hug their PackBots.
Yeah, save their lives.
Because the PackBots, like when they saw, an unusual car or package or something on the side of the road, they would send the PackBot to go inspect, and it would have a camera. It's like a remote control camera. And sometimes the PackBots would take a hit for the team.
Yeah.
But would save the lives of a person because the person wouldn't have to go and inspect
Yeah.
it. So it's very interesting and very high tech, like hardened electronics, and also Roomba. Like it's an interesting. She kind of covered everything from the military. Like industrial hardcore can
Start as a toy company.
Can get bombed. Yeah, start as a doll company.
Yeah.
To making these bomb diffuser bots, and then also
Roomba, the most successful robot
Home
in
robot,
history. Yeah. This is the most robots shipped to people's homes.
Yeah.
That are in people's homes. So
we're MIT engineer.
Yeah, and we've known her for about a decade or so. She's always been a great friend of the company, just for all sorts of things. And so we, if she looks familiar, R is for Robot is our coloring book, free download on our site. You can also purchase it. We have a page. I is for iRobot, and there's Helen. See, remember that?
Yeah.
And there she is. And we had her sign it. So this is a photo of the signature page. Yay! So happy birthday, Helen. Keep doing amazing stuff. Okay, next up, I'm going to interview you. So it's open source hardware time.
It is.
And we got a request from a journalist. They want to interview you. So he said, cool, can you send the questions? We'll just read them on the air and we'll answer these.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, first one up. Lady Ada.
Hi.
Why do you feel hardware plans should be accessible to everyone?
Well, I personally think that a hardware plan should be accessible to everybody, and the hardware plans that we do are accessible to everybody. There's a couple reasons. For one, it's a great way to get new people into hardware because they get to see, it's not just magical, they actually get to look inside and see how things are designed. They get to learn a lot. So it's really good for education to teach people about how electronics is built. Second, you get to show off your hardware. If you did a really cool design, hardware isn't protectable anyways, so why not release it and then you can show off what you did? And that feeds into the third part, which is you can get the community, your customers, people who buy from you, the people who use your hardware to give you feedback and perhaps even suggest fixes. Like every week we get people who say, hey, I noticed something in your design that you can maybe improve on. I had some ideas or optimizations. It's happened quite a few times.
Yeah.
So there is benefit to open sourcing.
We knew a company that there was a mistake in one of their designs. Because they posted the files, we let them know, and it saved them like tens of thousands of dollars, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they're like, oh, wow, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, like, you never know. Other people may have used those same parts or had that experience. They might notice something that, when you're building hardware, you often build only a couple prototypes, and a lot of things will pass prototype just because, only 1 out of 10 fails, and you built 9 prototypes, so you didn't hit that 10th one. And then when you build 10,000, that's when you get the failures. So having people be able to look at it is valuable.
Okay. How important are organizations like Astra to maintain the rules for open source hardware? Do rules help or hinder?
Well, I think that it's not rules so much as guidelines, and I think that the guidelines, because there is no law that covers this. A lot of it is expectation of the community, expectation of how you want people to interact with their hardware. But I think that Astra, what they do is they clearly define and promulgate these expectations. And so when people talk about open source hardware, there is a definition that people can point to and say, look, this is the definition. This is what I mean when I say open source hardware. And so that reduces the confusion. It just makes it a lot clearer. And so we have like one voice to speak for all the people doing open source hardware. And we had like a couple hundred people sign the definition. Pretty much everyone who does open source hardware.
Yeah, we worked on the definition a lot because we were shipping hardware.
Yeah.
So we're like, this is what is important to us for open source hardware.
Yeah.
To me, it's not rules. It's an invitation to a community. If you want to be in this community,
Yeah.
here's what the invitation looks like.
Right, community guidelines,
Yeah.
expectations. It's like there's oftentimes in communities there's people say like, oh, silent rules or like unspoken rules. Well, instead of having them be unspoken, they're now extremely well documented and spoken.
Yeah. And I also think it brings clarity. Like a lot of people are like, how do I get started? What do I do? And this is more like a recipe.
Yeah.
So the next one is licensing important for design files for open source hardware? What are the complications posed by licenses?
I think that licensing is not as important as defining expectations, because again, hardware doesn't have a lot of legal protections, and so I think licenses, are, it's not, people should be clear about what they want from people who use their hardware, but also understand that there may be other legal implications like patent law that covers hardware, or the fact that you can't copyright a schematic, that you can't copyright the information contained in the schematic. And so it's, as long as, I think what's most important is for people to understand what protections. There are some protections, silkscreen are and trademark are, and the firmware that's in your hardware, that is software, and so that runs under copyright law. And so for those things, the licensing is very, very clear. For other things, maybe not so much. So I think that's where the open source definition comes in, because instead of saying these are rules or laws or necessarily licenses, you say here's my expectations for how I want people to interact with my design.
Yeah. I also think the licensing, when you say I'm putting this hardware under license, it's a way for the newcomers to see what is the social norms within that community.
Yeah.
A lot of people are familiar with the rules around software licensing, but there is what you said, you have to split it up a bit with hardware, and I think it just makes it less complicated. And I think that if you look at hardware through a copyright license only, you miss out on the other things that we were talking about. And I think that's why it's helpful.
Yeah, like for example, I can release a Bluetooth design open source hardware, but you still have to pay the Bluetooth SIG to license Bluetooth.
Yeah,
like that is not something that I can't license the usage of that word. You know what I mean? Like it's
So we'll send this off. Thank you for doing this interview.
Yeah.
That's how we're doing this now. When we have journalists that email us, we just do it on air, because why not share the information? If it's about open source, why not share it? Okay, good questions. Made in New York, speaking of open source, this is some factory footage and more from Adafruit. Here's putting together a bunch of stuff. So if you're wondering if we test all the units at Adafruit, we do. So next up, this is a little pneumatic clipper that we use to automatically clip lots of things, so you don't have to go.
Yeah, you don't have to work as hard. It does the clipping for you,
Yeah.
so it's a little easier. So we might be kidding people out with these people who do the clipping work.
Yeah. Okay. And then some other things from around Adafruit. David Receiving went to meet Uhura, Nichelle Nichols. He took a photo because he said he was going there, and we're big fans, of course, so we went to the Star Trek Experience.
I didn't know her first name was Neota.
Yeah, and this was you at Comic-Con. Lots of people dressed up.
The cosplayer.
One of the coolest characters in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah, she's cool.
Especially for the time when Star Trek came out.
Yeah.
A strong female character in the show in the 60s. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
What a cool person and a cool life.
Yeah.
So anyways, he sent that photo, so I wanted to share that. And then we went to the Glass Room, and it's a art space type thing in New York City. It's running to January. We got this data detox kit. So this is the Glass Room, and it's presented by Mozilla and the Tactical Technology Collective. And this is really neat. They don't sell anything in the store, but you can go and get this free data detox kit. And you go in there and you see all the Bluetooth devices and Wi-Fi, and it teaches people about encryption and how to protect their data and how they're tracked. And this is cool. It's not just like a Nike pop-up store.
Yeah.
By the way, the Nike pop-up stores
the worst.
around New York, they suck. And I'm
they're
really
like
angry
the
about.
opposite of the Glass
I'm really
Room.
angry about. So they wouldn't let us in because you didn't have an account.
You need to make an account on
And-
their website before they let you into the store.
Yeah, they like, and it has to be all the real information. They check IDs, and like it is really intense. And so
I'm like, I don't know.
I bought a pair of shoes at Nike a long time ago. I'm like, oh, I have an account, but it still wasn't okay for you to come in.
No, I couldn't go in because I had to have an
Yeah.
account too. Which is
And,
ridiculous. Like,
and they're like, what's your phone number? You don't have a phone.
I told them I was under 18, but they didn't believe
Didn't care.
They didn't care.
Yeah. So anyways, I like the pop-up stores with a cause. Maybe Nike is maybe this is one coin, different sides. Nike store takes all your data. This one shows you how to do it. But anyways, so comes with a bunch of neat stuff. Data detox kit, and where is it? That's stickers. All these little cards. So this is neat. And if you're in New York, do check it out. And we'll have an article soon about do not track on Adafruit. That was really important to us, and how to use Privacy Badger. And in fact, we'll have a Privacy Badger badge soon.
Yeah?
So that's kind
You
of
love
neat.
Privacy Badger.
Yeah, Privacy
Okay.
Badger, don't care. Okay, and so that's what we did. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. We had fun this weekend.
Yeah, and they have a little video, so I thought I'd play it. Okay, Nimbus, speaking of IoT, we got some Adafruit IO news.
Okay.
We're getting close to like launch, so it's still free, it's in beta.
Yeah.
It's Adafruit IO, it's the data service for makers, so you can use things like Huzzah and Fona and all of the internet connected devices. We have an IO update.
Yeah.
That's my update tongue. We have 63 million inserts of log data in the last 7 days, almost 20,000 users, 14,000 online feed, 100 inserts per second for MQTT, and 10 per second on the REST API. We have our Internet Things Bill of Rights that we're really interested in. We put it up on GitHub for your comment. And then today, this is a big deal. This was from Microsoft. Microsoft published their article on their site. They even kept the pink hair and the lip ring and everything.
I like it.
That's really neat. So you are the new Microsoft Bob. No. So what's really neat, and I have a little video of just scrolling down the page. This is on Microsoft, and this was just you talking about why IoT is important. They have a video, and they included the Internet Things Bill of Rights right there. Right there. This new Microsoft's really cool, by the way.
This new Microsoft's way
I like this new Microsoft.
nicer.
Embracing open source, doing all sorts of things.
Ubuntu Bash in the shell in Windows 10.
Yeah.
Crazy.
This is really neat. So We all grew up in the world where like Microsoft was always the enemy, and now they're becoming one of the best partners if you do open source. So
they're really kicking it. They're kicking it hardcore style.
yeah. So anyways, check it out. We linked to it on the blog, and thank you everyone at Microsoft who did this, and thanks for helping us get the word out about Internet of Things Bill of Rights, security, and why IoT is important. And if all these devices are going to be talking, let's figure out what they're going to say, and that's up to all of us.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving right along, 3D printing. On Pager every single week. Have an excellent project.
This is a fun project.
And this week,
everyone's going to build this project.
They outdid themselves again.
Yes.
In this project, we'll show you how you can make a Wi-Fi enabled portable weather station using an ESP8266. The software, written by Daniel Eichhorn, uses the Wonderground API to pull weather data. It shows the date, time, current weather conditions, a 4-day forecast, and even moon phases. The user interface features lovely typography and icons that make this a really nice and clean layout. The 2.4-inch TFT Feather Wing combined with the Adafruit Feather Huzzah ESP8266 make assembling this project incredibly easy. The two just snap together and there's no need to wire any connections. The onboard battery charger lets you easily connect a LiPo battery, making this project compact and portable. Everything fits nicely in our 3D printed enclosure. You can download the files and 3D print them out yourself, or have a service like 3dhubs.com print them for you. The links are in the description. The mounting holes on the 2.4-inch TFT display snap into the standoffs on the cover of the enclosure. A 2000 mAh LiPo battery fits nicely into the case, and the two pieces snap fit together without having to use any additional hardware. You can of course mount the enclosure in all sorts of ways. I stuck a magnet onto the back and stuck it on my refrigerator. For a full list of parts and code, be sure to check out the full tutorial for this project. You can find the link in the description of this video. Hey, if you like this project, why not let us know by giving this video a thumbs up? Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Adafruit channel for more projects every week.
Super cool.
Adorable.
And then we have a time lapse. Don't forget, 3D Hangouts is not on Wednesday. That's why we crossed out Thursday and put Wednesday on there. Okay, Lady Ada.
But you can watch it anytime, just live. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, every day of the week could be Thursday or Wednesday. It doesn't matter.
Or 3D printing day.
Code's Bonnet, 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to what time?
11:59 p.m.
That's right.
Okay.
You didn't know there was gonna be a quiz.
No, I was completely caught unaware. I was ready for new products, and I was not ready.
All
for
right,
the
Lady
quiz.
Ada, just time for new products. You ready?
Is it time?
Let's do this.
New.
Dramatic. Okay. All right. So
Sometimes I want to keep it minimal.
we're gonna kick it off a little different. So this company did these cool videos with you, and I have to show them.
They're
So
funny.
there are products.
Yeah, go
So
for
they're
it.
very short. I'm just gonna show them real quick. Check this out. Bam. All right, and if you want to see more Lady Ada Kung Fu grip punching action, we got another one. Ow! All right. Glad you're working out.
I will say it's funny because it's like there's like 2 photos of me, but they're like used for everything. They are the Sci 7021 and the CP 2104 are pretty great chips. Scilabs makes like quality chips.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
I like that I made that video. Bam. Okay.
Not the UV sensor, but everything else is really great.
All right. We got some packs. These are the packs we did in partnership with Aero.
Yeah. So we got an arcade pack. So we actually just redid the retro game tutorial. So it's easier than ever to no solder build a retro arcade game with 6 buttons and a joystick. So check that out.
Comes in a box.
Comes in a box.
And then we have another one.
We have a Times Square kit. It comes with Raspberry Pi 3, SD card, our 32x32 matrix, and a hat that drives the matrix. It does all the power stuff, and it has a real-time clock. So you can make really cool animated effects.
Yeah,
and
all in one pack.
All in one pack, really cool stuff.
Also comes in a box.
Also comes in a box.
And then there's more.
And we have a camera kit. So this is not a battery-powered version. It's a wall-powered version of our Wi-Fi camera kit with touchscreen. So you can use a touchscreen and you can like control it and stuff. It's a pretty cool package.
Yeah, and we put all these together with Aero, and it's just to get you started really quickly. And
yeah,
it's
you can
one
use
of our it's like our popular guides in a box.
Yeah, basically these are the kind of the top 3 guides that we have
In a box.
in a box.
Okay, next up, battery pack.
Okay, so now we're getting into real new products. I mean, those are new, but these are like
Yeah, you got to punch the screen each time. Bam.
Bam! Okay, this is a AAA battery holder, 3 times AAA battery holder with an on-off switch, and it comes with a belt clip, which I really like. So we've had a couple projects where you want to make a wearable with a Flora Circuit Playground. You want to power it with AAA batteries. I really love these because they're safer than lithium-ion batteries.
Relive the pager days.
Look, I mean, not everyone wants a lithium-ion battery, charging and dealing. So there's a belt clip glued on the back. So you just you can just glue it onto. Sorry, you can clip it onto whatever you like, your backpack or your belt or whatever. And this one, this has a little screw that holds it closed. This holds 3 AAA batteries, and we also have another version.
That's right.
The AA version.
Yeah, you're like, what if I want a double A? What if I want a double A version?
AA batteries, so that it has an easier opening front.
Little JST connector.
Also has a JST connector, so it works with Flora Circuit Playground. Pretty much, actually, everything that doesn't have a LiPoly charger, you can power it up with this.
Is the belt clip removable?
No, it's not. It's glued on.
I mean, I can remove it.
You can remove it, but it's not reattachable.
Okay, I won't do that then.
The overhead, and I'll shut it off. So this is the AAA holder, and this is the AA. So the AA holder is significantly larger, and it's got the on-off switch on the top, and it's got 3 AA battery holders. So you can use it with alkaline or nickel metal hydrides, and then also, there's a belt clip. There's also a little thing here. You can put it on a chain, but it has a belt clip glued onto it. I don't know. I think these are very handy for when you're doing wearable projects and you want to clip something on. So for example, if we did the Circuit Playground shoe project, you would clip this on to your...
super handy.
You could clip this onto your laces. So that's that.
Okay.
Battery clips. These are very nice.
Cable.
Panel mount cables. We have 2 panel mount cables.
Everybody loves panel mount.
We have the mini USB, and we have a 3.5 millimeter audio jack. Mini USB is mini USB. You have the device with mini USB. You want to panel mount it. This is a little extension cord that gives you a panel mount connector. So on one end, the panel mount, you can probably put it up to a 1/4 inch thick plastic or whatever. From the back, you can take out the hex nut and attach it from the back, or you can attach it from the front to a thin, 0.1 inch thickness material. So that's that, and then on the other side you just have your mini B, and of course it's data and power, so you're good to go for any device. And then this is a panel mount audio stereo connector. Similar idea, extension cable, but it has this mounting hex nut, attach it to a 0.1 inch thick box panel, stereo headphone or mic here, stereo headphone or mic out. It's just an adapter.
Tim Cook's top gift of this season.
I actually put in the description this is not Tim Cook's favorite product, but whatever. I like it. It's handy. So you want to panel. Basically, we have almost every connector now panel mount available.
Okay. Next up,
It's a book. And
Adventures in
I didn't
Minecraft.
get to look through this book in detail.
Okay.
You ordered this. You thought this was a cool book.
Yeah, Adventures in Minecraft. Someone just made like an Atari in Minecraft, like a real working one. It's like 1 frame per every 3 minutes because it really works.
Yeah.
So
it's
here's
like
some pages from
Minecraft
it.
Pi, and it's kind of Raspberry Pi. It's got a lot of Raspberry Pi stuff going on here. And yeah, you can use Python. Do you want to go to the overhead?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. So it's got color photos, which is great. There's Python code involved. It tells you how to do some basic Python in a window. You know, you can use our cobbler and stuff.
Yep. Hardware projects and more.
Hardware projects and more. So all sorts of things. All
Okay.
sorts of things are available for you.
And we now Pi section because we have Pi products this week. So this is our Pi news as well. It is here. This is what we think is the best Pi Zero case in the world.
Yay! Our injection molded case.
That's right.
Yeah, hold on, let me grab the case.
And
Grabbing. Okay, so we actually have two things. We have a Raspberry
yeah,
Pi
I'll show the
Zero
photos.
case.
Yeah, we
and
also
we
have
a camera case.
we also have camera case. So
Okay.
I'll show all the photos and then we'll go to the overhead.
Yeah. So there's two things, and actually, what's funny is we got to use one mold for both, so we saved a little bit of money. So we you know, because we made both of them at the same time. So this is the Raspberry Pi case, and it's got this removable and replaceable. So this is removable and replaceable. This little plastic piece here. So if you want to put it back or you want to remove it, whatever. It's a basic 2-part design. There's no screws. It just opens up, so you can, sorry, backwards. You put the Raspberry Pi in like so. Actually, hold on.
And then the other cool thing about this
I
is
have to learn how to do this.
yeah.
Sorry, you put it in this way. Like that.
And then the other cool thing is, as you can tell, we put our designer's name on it.
Yeah, my doll.
Designed by Mike Dole. And we think that's really important. Who makes the thing? Costs nothing to put their name on it. And then
Yeah.
you got the Pi camera one.
I'll show that in a second.
Okay.
So you pop your Pi Zero, and you can pop it right out. You can wedge it, or you can pull on it, and then the top goes like this, and then you can attach your GPIO cable, or if you have a bonnet or a FAT, like one of these, you can, which I'll show later, but you can just sort of pop that on top, and you get plenty of clearance, so you have no problem. But it's nice and protected, and it's safe, and it's not too expensive. You can get to your SD card very easily,
Yeah.
except I don't have nails that can grab this. They're kind of hard to grab. Okay, so you can grab your SD card, you can plug in HDMI, micro USB, and there's a slot for the camera cable if you want to.
We tried to think of everything.
Try to think of everything. Okay, so I need to keep track of this because this is my demo for later.
Okay.
And then we also have this camera connector. And what's cool about the camera connector is it has a couple different ways you can use it. So I have it here with the camera slot. It's got the camera slot, which is going into the Pi Zero case. It just shows you, like, hey, you can put the cable in. Similar, you just pop the Raspberry Pi camera in. It works with any of the Raspberry Pi cameras. They're the same. You can't really tell the difference anyways. Most people have the Pi 2 camera now. It's got these two slots on the side, so you can attach to something. You can Velcro or zip tie something over here, and then there's a little pinhole here, so that there's nothing blocking the camera itself. And then on the back, we had a press 1/4-inch tripod mount. So if you have like one of these small tripod mounts, these Gorilla
Yeah, it's super cool.
grippies or selfie camera sticks or whatever, and they have this 1/4-20 screw on them. It's not very big, but it's like, it's usually it's like about a 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch, and there's a little rubber gasket, and so this screws into the back. Like so, and now you can kind of make a tripod mounted, or you can attach it to things. And a lot of things that, well, we probably make a tripod actually tripod. A lot of camera devices have a tripod mount. And so you'll find all sorts of like, not GoPro, but like almost anything else will have a little mount that you can attach the camera. And
Yeah,
there
these
are
little
GoPro
slots to have like a Velcro-y thing. This is neat.
Yeah, so if you want to attach it to like a generic thing that doesn't have a screw attachment, or of course you can just grab a 1/4 screw from the hardware store and then you screw it into the back. Just don't screw it like so far that it pops the camera out, right? Because if you do, it'll push the camera through the case.
Yep.
So just do it until you feel the camera hit, and then just back off a little bit and you're done. But we've tested that with a bunch of these like basic small tripods, and they all work really well with that. So 2 nice cases.
Yeah. This has nothing to do with new products, but Noah and Pedro sent us the cute little 3D printed pet computer.
Yeah, this
they
is
have.
from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Hi.
This is what MOSFET uses to order from Amazon.
Hello.
Hi.
Ordering stuff.
Where's my cat food?
Okay, so that's those demos.
Okay. And then the star of the show, besides you tonight, and I really like this silk on this, the Adafruit speaker bonnet. And that's why the code is bonnet.
Phil B did the silkscreen for this. A lovely job he did as well. This is a bonnet. So we've made Raspberry Pi hats. And Raspberry Pi hats are the same size as an A+, and they kind of fit in the little square notch crevice of a Raspberry Pi B+, Pi 2, or Pi 3. And these bonnets are the same size as a Pi 0. So they work with a Pi B+, A+, Pi 2, Pi 3, but they're the same size as a Pi 0, and so like what's nice is that if you have a Pi 0 and you want to have an attachment that doesn't take up much more space, it doesn't take up more space, and the mounting holes are in the same location, so it's all cute. And so this is our first bonnet. We've designed quite a few, and we'll be slowly releasing them over the next couple weeks. So this is our first one. It's a speaker bonnet. So this takes our I2S digital amplifier chip and puts 2 on there, so you get stereo left and right. And you can just attach speakers to it, and then you run our little installer script. It runs on any version of Raspbian or whatever that you want to do. If you have like a media center, you can use it with that. You can use it with RetroPie or whatever. And it adds stereo audio out. And what's nice is that because it doesn't go through the headphone jack, first off, you don't have headphone jack on the Pi 0.
Probably ever had.
Oh yeah. There is no headphone jack on the Pi 0, so that makes it more challenging. But you also don't have a DAC that you then have to have another amplifier for. So if you're doing a project that has speaker output or amplified audio output, this is a pretty nice way to do it. And I'm going to power this up. And then you have to solder on the header on the back here, because it comes as a kit. And then you have a choice of the audio output. You can have the audio come out either this JST connector, which goes straight to our speaker kit, or you can use these terminal blocks and then connect like anything. And what's interesting, I was thinking, you don't have to use speakers. You can use, that's the audio. You can use surface transducers.
That's our music YouTube. Don't content ideas.
So this is a little speaker playing, audio output. So very easy. It just whatever the default audio output is of your Pi, it'll come out the speakers. And that's it. Speaker bonnet.
Boop.
And just unplug it. So yeah, what's nice about it, if you use our speaker kit, it just plugs right in. But you can also use any other 8 ohm or 4 ohm speakers up to 3 watts. So nice and booming. So good for audio projects. I think we'll see people who, when they make a little AirPlay speaker system or whatever, this would be a good add-on.
All right. And with that, these new products. New over. That's my song. So the code's bonnet all the way up to 11:59 p.m. 10% off, and Adafruit all the stuff that you saw that's in stock, except for, of course, gift certificate and software. Adabot subscriptions. Lady Ada, it's time for Top Secret. Let's open up the vault. It's not out yet. Don't ask.
Shh.
So,
it's not that much of a secret if you've been watching The Desk of Lady Ada.
That's a different
I suggest
show.
people watch because there's all these cool things.
Out with the old, and in with the new.
I love the trinket, but I'm ready to move on. So I've redesigned it to
I just want to see other trinkets.
use a
I just want to see other gemmas. Let's not use me.
Okay.
I just need nice space.
You need more space. Okay, so we got the new Gemma with a SAMD processor and a new trinket, and I added a couple cool extras. So one thing is that this chip is so powerful. You know, you basically, we got this little demo that just takes GPS data and prints it on OLED, and this is 5% of the storage used on the chip. I mean, you can have big, complicated projects, and you get native serial, get native I2C, you get a digital analog output pin, so you can do audio projects directly. You even have a little RGB LED here, which maybe I can get it to. I can't get it to blink. Oh, you know what? I didn't put the new bootloader on here. But there's an RGB LED built in that you can blink. So this little guy over here is a little RGB LED, but you still otherwise, it's basically pin compatible with the old trinket. Same overall function, same overall design concept, but a different chipset, a much more powerful chipset.
Yeah. And we'll be able
Gemma as
to, it'll act like an Arduino. We'll also have our Adafruit MicroPython, our open source version of MicroPython completely tuned for Adafruit hardware.
Yeah, what's cool is that this chip is so powerful, 256K of flash, 32K of RAM, 48 megahertz, you can run MicroPython on it. You can run Arduino on it, of course, but you can do a whole lot more. It's got native USB, and unlike the old trinket, you don't have to worry about running out of space or not having native USB serial. It shows up with the serial port, so you get debugging, and it's not going to be that much more expensive than the trinket and the Gemma, so this is a good path forward because the old trinket, it was a cute hack, but I think people want to...
Can you show the little tester? Look at that. Look at the little thing. Oh, this thing right here. What's this?
Oh, this is the
Look how cute this is. Look at the little beep, beep, beep.
It's a little Pogo Pin programmer.
And you made this on the other mill.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a little SWD programmer adapter.
Beep, beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Okay, well, that's the It's Not Out Yet, Don't Ask for this week. Back in the vault with you. Get in there. All right. Post your questions up in the chat. We will answer them. How much is a trinket that's currently shipping? Do you remember?
I think the current trinket is $7 or $8.
Okay. Can the Pi run off a laptop hard drive?
No, I don't know.
Isn't that a weird adapter from like...
No, I don't know if it can run. I don't know if it knows to boot off an external drive. This I don't know. I think you have to boot off of the SD card, but you can have the external drive attached to it. But I don't know if you can boot off of an external drive.
Okay. The M0 Metro is coming, that's right. But has there been mention of the M0 Metro Mini on the desk of Lady Ada?
No, there's no such thing yet.
Okay. What is a safe PCB trace width for a 5-volt, 100 milliamp signal?
Under 100 milliamps, I would go with like 16 mil or 12 mil.
Okay. When using NeoPixel, is there a speed benefit for using a loop set pixel versus writing out set pixel X times, assuming you are only looping through 10 or so pixels?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Next up. To connect 6 MTS of NeoPixel, meters, I guess, to 1 meter at a time, 60 NeoPixels per meter, is 14 gauge wire overkill. Can I use the XLR male?
14 gauge is kind of overkill.
Okay.
You can get away with like 22 gauge.
Okay, can I use XLR male and female as 3-pin connectors to interconnect the NeoPixel strips?
You can, but I think that's kind of a bad idea because XLR is an existing standard. We have weatherproof, connectors in the store and also JST connectors. I would go with something that's not already used for audio, because otherwise somebody's going to plug it into your microphone board and you're going to get 80 volts into your NeoPixels. It's going to be sad.
Okay, this one's for me, I guess. What's your favorite shade of black? The one in my soul. One of two. Hi, guys. I asked last week, and half the question, they have the follow-up here. I'm looking for recommendations for a specific audio IC requirements, headphone audio switching, minimal extra parts.
Yeah, this was the one I think I said use a headphone jack with this switch in it. That's all I've ever used.
Okay. When is AdaBox 2 shipping? I think in a couple weeks. And then 2 of 2, 3.3 volt PWM input, Class D, I2C volume control, run from a LiPo without external buck boost. Sounds good stereo. That's a follow-up. Anything like that for that?
Yeah, we have the TPA 212. That is I2C control. It runs off of 3 volts. And it's I2C audio control. It's not PWM in, though. I mean, you can try PWM in, It's audio in. You could put an RC filter on your PWM and then get analog input. Has differential inputs and stereo.
When's the new Trinket come out, and how much will it cost? Not out yet. Don't ask.
Not out yet. Don't ask.
Why are there no longer range IR breaks? Only a few feet.
Because the IR beams are too diffuse. Even a 10 even a 10-degree beam will spread a lot. I mean, you can you can try driving it harder. You can drive IR LEDs with like up to an amp. I mean, which is kind of ridiculous, but those dies are actually designed for up to an amp peak. But you have to pulse them, right? You can't have them on all the time. So as long as you're okay, if you pulse them with, I think, a duty cycle of like 3% or 4% or something, you could go farther. But having an LED on all the time, you're just not going to get that distance.
Okay. Can you use two INA 219s on a single feather to read two different voltage current readings simultaneously?
Yes.
Okay.
You could.
How do you prevent analog interference on a microcontroller, making analog values super accurate?
There's a lot of things you can do. Having clean ground, clean power is important. So putting ferrite beads around and just keeping it far away from your digital stuff and giving it a good ground plane, shielding it away from digital noise. Having chips with good power supply rejection ratio, if you can amplify it so that you don't have to have high resolution later. Taking a small microvolt signal, getting it up to the volt level, and then reading it, of course, you're going to have better luck. So you can pay a lot for your analog front end, but then you don't have to pay for the rest.
Okay, one with a 320 LCD for feather ship. Still, again, out of stock for a long time. Yeah, making fast again. Happens. Also, it's the holidays.
Yeah, those sold out very fast.
Okay.
A little faster than I thought.
Any chance of a Bluetooth feather wing and Wi-Fi? Yeah, there's always a
Maybe
chance.
there's always a chance.
Okay, do NeoPixels work with the NTC chip or ESP32?
I don't know about the chip. I think somebody may have written a library for the chip. I actually have never used it. The ESP32, I think someone started a NeoPixel library, but the Arduino core is still under serious development. So don't really think anything for sure.
Is there any indication from your iCharging page on Minty Boost instructions of a resistor config that will tell an iPhone to charge at full amperage?
Whatever's on there is all I know.
Okay. Can you use a USB keyboard on the SAM boards?
You can, but then you don't get access. You only have one USB port, so you would have to use the native port for USB keyboard. But you can, you can use it as a keyboard, and then you'll have to just trust. You know what I mean? Like, you'll get serial output, so you have to kind of like program it and then like see if it works, and then like get it back to the bootloader and switch around the cable. It's a little annoying.
Okay, I can do this one. Do you have any hardware design bloggers you recommend following? Subscribe to Micah's Scanlime video channel on YouTube.
Yeah,
Probably one
she's
of the
great.
best ones.
She's great.
Okay.
We blog a lot of designers on the blog, so just follow them. Whenever we
Yeah.
blog, go to their blog and follow it.
Any plans for an e-ink feather display? Yeah. I mean, there's a Indiegogo, crowd supply that Jarek, who is in Adafruit forums, is working on. I kind of like that. Maybe we'll figure out something there. Are you still going to do something with the Max 3100?
Well, maybe. It's a little weird because of the way the I2C works. I might get back into that, but
Okay.
working on more dev boards.
Are the I2C pins free on the new audio bonnet?
All pins are free except for 18, 19, and 21.
Why are a bunch of your batteries out of stock? Because people bought them.
Dude, people bought a lot of batteries.
Yeah.
We have a lot of different sizes so that hopefully, even if one size is out of stock, other sizes are in stock.
Yeah, this is holiday season.
It's holiday season. It's very busy. We are
Resellers
trying to
buying
stock
everybody.
as fast as possible, but don't
Yeah.
always. We do sell a lot of batteries.
Alrighty, and those are the questions this week. You did a very good job. Speed
Yes.
rounded it. Woo! All right, it's trivia question time, lady. Ada.
Okay.
So it's trivia question time. What are the rules?
Rules are if you've won before, you can't win again. Only one winner per my lifetime, and whoever answers the question that Phil has will win the prize. And the prize today is going to be that speaker bonnet.
Speaker bonnet.
Which, by the way, it's I2S. You can use it with a Teensy or like any other chip that has I2S output. Just wire the I2S pins to your device, and you got like a stereo I2S speaker thingy. It's all good.
Okay, it is time. Here is a trivia question this week.
Yes.
Happy birthday, book. In 1768, this is the first edition of this encyclopedia. So happy birthday, this particular encyclopedia. What is the name of the encyclopedia?
Okay.
And it's still, to this day, around. It is not 42. It is not paperweight. Let's see who can find it first. It's not Geordie LaForge. So if you read our time travel, we have the happy birthday post to this
Encyclopedia.
encyclopedia. Oh, Charles Burnford, congratulations. Encyclopedia Britannica, or Dictionary of Arts and Sciences,
That's cool.
shipped their first edition in 1768. Crazy.
Wow.
This is like a little bit before the internet. This is where all the knowledge was.
Yeah.
And,
This was before that kid was born.
yeah, you'd volumize it, A through Z. Kind of interesting.
Interesting idea.
So congratulations. Charles, email support@adafruit.com and tell them you won. Which PID is it?
3346.
3346. That'll help us get it out faster. So thank you for playing along. And that, Lady Ada,
Yay.
is the show for the week.
Amazing.
Yeah, and we had that same idea of doing something like A through Z. So we have A through Z of electronics. We have R is for robot.
Yeah.
We're working on a couple other coloring books. And Circuit Playground, the video series, we're up to K. K is for kids. So, if it works, do it. That's what we did. So thank you very much, everyone. That's our show for this evening. Bonnet's code, 10% off in the Adafruit store. Please help support this cool open source hardware company.
That's right.
No funding, no loans.
Just me. My
We
trinket.
like
Another mill.
paying our peeps and keeping the lights on. So every order counts and helps, and
my
we
bad.
thank you. Thank you, everyone at Adafruit. Thank you, all the remote folks and the community and all the customers. And thank you, everyone who comes to the show and tell. That was a really good show and
Yeah,
tell
that's
this
what
week.
I'm tell. I
Thank you
lost
so
my
much.
little bag of stuff, but okay, I'll just carry this in my hands.
Okay.
No biggie. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
You stole it.
I didn't steal it.
Thief.
Theft would be it's gone. It's right there. So
You were caught.
I was
stealing.
smuggling
Smuggler.
the bag. So
Put it in your cheeks.
thank you very much, everyone. We very much appreciate it. From everyone at Adafruit, thank you. We'll see you next week. Here is your moment of Zener. Bye, everybody.
Laters.